I want to talk about being aware of how your body feels and how just noticing any area of your body, and this doesn't have to be done in any miraculous magical way, simply just pay attention to your feet or your face. And the second you pay attention to that, all you have to do is notice, are your feet clenched? Are your toes clenched? Is your face clenched? Meaning it's squinted, it's almost seems like, if you were in pain or if you were bothered by something, even emotionally, your face may squint a little bit or a lot. This is the number one thing you want to notice, how your body feels. I know there's a lot of talk about, and I believe in it, about paying attention to your thoughts and how your thoughts are, because your thoughts will help to influence just how you feel generally. And while I am a big proponent of that, I do believe that that's not the same thing as paying attention to your body. Meaning, it's similar because you're putting your mind on a certain aspect of yourself, but it's different because the mind and the body are two separate things. And interestingly enough, the mind will tell the body how to be. And the body will then relay that information to the mind of how to be. So yeah, ultimately it starts with the mind. But we could actually do this in reverse in order to still work with the mind and allow the mind to help us to be in a healthier state without going to the mind and instead, without starting with the mind and instead starting with the body. So if you're the type of person who may have tension in their body, may have stress, may have emotions that are circulating, moving around, or your body just generally is tense, the thing to notice is it responding to that tension? Now, I think it could still bother you, meaning whatever is in your body that's something that's not healthy, like tension, negative energy, stuff like that to begin with. It's not healthy to have that generally, and you may have that, your body may not even feel tense, which to me seems like you're either really distracted or your mind has been able to override feeling those negative effects. And therefore your body, in a way, is responding accordingly. But if you are feeling any part of your body tense, all you have to do is notice it's tense and start to relax it. Right? If your hands are tense, meaning they're in a closed fist position, or they're clenched for whatever the reason, or they're grabbing onto something, maybe even your shirt, or if you're in a closed arm position, meaning your arms are across your chest and in a way creating a W. I mean, this is all done unintentionally, right? We don't realize. And your hands are in a way underneath your armpit. Are your fists closed? Are they open? Does any of that feel tense? In a way, that's a closed position. You're closed off. It's like you're protecting yourself. And that might just be a very relaxed state. It really depends on your state of mind and you being aware of your body. How does that feel? How do you feel now? Right? How does any of that feel? The point I'm trying to make is, you can come up with dozens of body postures, facial expressions, the way your joints are positioned. If they are in a way where that in a way is a reflection of how you actually are feeling, or tension that's in your body you may not even notice, well, guess what? You can start backwards with that body part and relax it. And maybe there's other body parts that are like that, so it's helpful to try to do an overall scan, and not to get overly concerned or worried, or even to say, no, nothing's wrong, because this is like an ongoing thing. You can't just take one form of practice and say, well, it doesn't work, or maybe it kind of does and you noticed it did, but it wasn't significant enough for you to really remember. Or maybe for whatever the reason you're closed off to the idea of self-healing or what have you, or even just trying to be happier. We could be avoidant of that. So the point I'm trying to make is, give things a try in life, and I do believe, because, well, it works for me. I'm not going to say this is something I do daily and something I do regularly where, if I am in a stressful position, but I do know that if I am just paying attention to my body, regardless of the situation, but more times than not, the situation is, I could be in the presence of other people, what have you, and I could feel like my toes are clenching. I didn't even realize it. I could even be driving, and that could be happening. And it doesn't affect my ability to drive or to even drive well. I don't notice this is happening. There's some kind of tension. For whatever the reason, there could be fear of something going on that and it's an ongoing, set on replay in my mind, or it's energy in my body that's negative and hasn't really been resolved. That's an ongoing message to my body. My feet are responding, and then who knows what the hell where your mind's going to go from that. Is it going to avoid that? Is it going to notice it? Is it thinking of something else? Who knows? But the second, this is the best part, the second that you can don't try to quickly release the tension, just notice it's there and start to slowly relax it and be like, I guess I'm tense, because you are. Whether you realize it or not, your body is going to respond to the energy that's within it. If the energy is relaxed, if it's calm, if it's at peace, if it's happy, if it's regulated and balanced well, then your body's going to respond accordingly. If it's tense, right? If it's aggravated, if it's negative, your body's going to act accordingly. The cells are going to react accordingly. This is where they say, I don't have any evidence to this, but this is where they say diseases can occur just because you have negativity in your body. It makes sense. If there's anything in your environment that's outside you that seems dangerous, don't you have some kind of cautious state? Perhaps the flight or fight kicks in. Perhaps cortisol levels kick in. You're a little bit more aware. Or maybe you're the avoidant type, and you don't get involved, and you're just I don't know what to do. And maybe you're more of the freeze type of person or what have you. But nevertheless, if we relate that to the inside of our body, if there's tension inside your body, our body in a way is living on its own. Your cells are multiplying and are dissolving, and they're communicating to each other. It's pretty amazing if you really think of the human body. All cells, blood, brain, skin, all types of in your organs. What about in your spine? What about your nervous system? What about your nerves? Everything is in a way working and corresponding to how all these parts work. And if there's any form of negativity, any form of negative energy, any form of hate or anger, sadness, bitterness, those are real, right? That happens. But when we don't actually realize that's present, and who knows what type of emotions there are, what type of negative tension that actually is, but it's from something, and it came from somewhere, and it's quite possible you're just noticing something that what is years old, decades old, who knows? And the point I'm trying to make is, well, your body is going to respond accordingly. It's going to get tightened up. This, that, whatever. Especially if things ongoing in your mind. Your body's going to think there's something that I need to, I'm prepared for. I'm tense. I'm getting more tense. I'm tightening up. I'm in a way that's a form of like protection, I guess. But nevertheless, it's there, and if you work with it backwards, like if your face, like this is even interesting with working out. Just working out, you could think that there's no threat in your environment, and you're working out, and you're working out safely, right? You're doing what your own ability is, what your own strength is, safely with whatever the exercise is, right? Nothing dangerous, nothing even implied is possible that you could get injured with working out. No, it's a safe, non-threatening, not dangerous at all exercise, and you're doing it, and your face is clenching. Why? Because say you get to a certain level, a certain repetition, right? Your body is feeling that tension from within. So it responds to your face, right? Or we could say it's our mind that's realizing, damn, this is really hard on my muscles. Therefore, my muscles are relaying that back to my mind for my face to look, in like a very disgruntled, disagreeing, agonizing way. And we get that face, but we push through, right? Or some people push through that. And the point I'm trying to make is, what if in that moment you realize your face is being like this, and you kind of just were like, I'm going to calm my face down. And I'm not saying the pain isn't going to go away, or the lactic acid or whatever you're feeling in your body, in your muscles, but there surely is a difference when your face is relaxed and you're focused and you're concentrating. There's surely 100% of a difference. It's almost as if you're in another body now, right? And, I'm not saying to go ahead and do, 20 more if you can. What I'm saying is obviously we do everything safely. The point I'm trying to make is there's definitely something miraculous about if we can realize our body or our face is tense. We start to try to relax that. We eventually get to like a relaxed position with it. Our mind is going to start to realize this isn't as bad as I thought. This isn't as dangerous as it was originally interpreted as. Or perhaps you're safer. It's very interesting to be able to do this. So next time you feel anxious, next time you feel your body is responding to that, or even if you're realizing your body in general, it could be anything, even just walking down the street. You could even just be sitting in your own home and not realizing that, your body in a certain area is more clenched or more tight. And you go to that, even your shoulders, your back could be more, hunched in, or just your shoulder blades are tighter. You don't realize it. You go ahead and relax it. Unbelievably, you'll be like, well, for a second, I feel more relaxed. And who knows, you may forget about what you just did and what you experienced, and maybe you go on with whatever else you're doing in life, and then your shoulders go back to that tense state. And you're like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but meanwhile, you're totally unaware now. And the more you get aware, you realize you're going to be a different person eventually. And maybe that's not even where you want to be. Maybe you want to feel a lot better in life. Maybe you have tons of things going on that you're not at peace or happy with. Well, all this is just an example of if this could be helpful. Because the whole point to me is to find things that are helpful. Not to blow them out of proportion, not to be over dramatic, not to say this is the cure, this is the answer, blah, blah, blah. It's interesting in life. The simplest things, the easier something is understood, right? The easier something is said, the most simplest way of trying to comprehend anything, to do anything. Not saying the shortest, quickest way, but it's rather a matter of that wasn't as complicated as some other things are, and it works. And there could be things that are very complicated that work and are much more difficult. All I'm saying is, in life, you want to find some things, and this could be one of those things. You never know, you know? Anyway, take care. Thank you.